Hey, what's up, Metaverse? This is Mike Mills with Verity Mortgage, coming to you today to talk about something other than mortgages and interest rates. I know that's everybody's big topic these days, and we'll talk more about that later this week. But we have a really big game coming up next weekend. Some would call it a super game. And so because of that, I wanted to consult with an expert today on what they think the result of this Super Bowl game will be next Sunday. And I figured if I'm going to consult an expert, the best kind of expert to consult is someone that would have spent thousands and thousands of hours examining football players and what they did and how they performed and their statistics and where they did the best. And these days you can really find that example on Madden, which is a PlayStation game that my wonderful son Troy loves to play all the time. So when I decided I was going to consult somebody about the result of a football game, I figured he'd be the best one to reach out to. So let's go ahead and let the young man take it away. I'm going to flip it over to Mr. T. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you see happening in the game coming up?
Okay, so right here we have the Bengals and the Rams.
Uh-huh.
So if you go...
That's some wonderful artwork you got there, by the way.
Shush. So we have Joe Burrow right here, Matthew Stafford right here. By passing yards, Joe Burrow has 4,611 passing yards, and Matthew Stafford has 4,886. So if we're going by passing yards and statistics...
Those are hard words to say, bro. Hard words.
Rams have won.
So you think on passing alone, just statistically speaking, the Rams have the advantage?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now.
Right now. All right. Now this is just for quarterbacks, right?
Yes, quarterbacks so far.
All right. What else you got?
Okay. So then we're going to do running backs. We have Cam Akers and Joe Mixon.
Okay.
So I forgot to put in the Rams' second halfback, but the Rams don't run the ball as much anyways, so it wouldn't really have mattered.
Who's the Rams' second halfback? Sony Michel?
Sony Michel, yeah.
Okay. So Cam Akers and Sony Michel kind of have combined stats.
Yeah.
They split a lot of duties, but Joe Mixon's kind of the main guy for the Bengals?
Yes.
So it's a statistic that could be a little misleading.
Yeah, but
okay.
The Rams don't hardly run the ball, so they're big passing.
Okay, you think they throw the ball a lot more, obviously indicated by Mr. Stafford. Do you know where Matt Stafford is from?
Dallas?
He is. He's from Dallas. He went to Highland Park High School.
Didn't he get drafted by the Lions?
Yeah, I believe so. I think so, yeah.
He got drafted by the Lions. Okay. So Cam Akers and Joe Mixon. Cam Akers has 625 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns this season.
All right.
And then Joe Mixon has 1,205 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns this season.
So Mixon's got a lot more touchdowns than Cam Akers.
Yeah.
So when they get in the red zone, what does that usually indicate?
They're running the ball.
Right. The Bengals are going to run the ball when they get in the red zone because Mixon's got a few more touchdowns there. Okay.
And then...
So who do we give the edge to on this?
The Bengals.
We're going the Bengals, all right? So the Bengals get a notch. Okay, 1 point to the Bengals. We're all tied up right now, all right?
And then, so now we're going to do Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase.
All right, Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase. Got it. Cooper Kupp, arguably the best receiver in all of football right now.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Personally, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Who's the best receiver?
Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson.
Okay, so who's Justin Jefferson? Who's he play for?
He plays for the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, all right.
And no, that wasn't him. Never mind. So Jamar Chase has 81 receptions, and Cooper Kupp has 145 receptions.
Okay.
Jamar Chase has 1,455 receiving yards, and Cooper Kupp has 1,947. And then Jamar Chase's touchdowns is 13. And Cooper Kupp's touchdowns is 16.
Okay.
Even though Cooper Kupp has better stats, if you do yards per catch, then Jamar Chase will have better stats.
So Jamar Chase's yards per reception is better than Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
So he doesn't have as many receptions. He only got 81.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp's got 145. But he's got not quite, it's 500 yards less, but in comparison to how many passes, it's almost double.
And the touchdowns is very close.
Right, the touchdowns is close. So when Chase gets the ball, he does more with it, right?
Indeed.
In the long term than what Cooper Kupp does, which is why you think Chase is a better receiver overall. Okay. And he's relatively young too, right?
Yeah, he got drafted, I think, in 2020.
And didn't Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, did they go to college together? They both go to LSU? Or is there another guy that's on his team that went to LSU?
I think it was a different guy.
Okay.
I don't know much about college.
All right.
Okay, and now we have points led up this season.
Okay.
So LA has led up 370 points this season, and the Bengals have led up 308.
Okay, so the Rams have allowed 370
Yes.
points on defense, and the Bengals have only allowed 308 points on defense,
Yeah.
which is a pretty big difference in the numbers. So, and you would suggest maybe that the Bengals probably have a little bit better defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've all played the same amount of games. No one's had a bye, so.
Okay, all right. So the Bengals have the edge on defense.
So we're gonna do 3. Right
So
here.
3 notches for the Bengals and 1 for LA. We kind of know where this is headed. Now, question for you.
Yeah.
The game, do you know where the game's being played this year?
At LA.
Okay, it's SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. So do the Rams get an edge because they get to play the Super Bowl at home, which is very, very
No.
unusual? I can't remember. I should have looked this up before we did this, but I can't remember if somebody played a couple years back in their home stadium or if this is the first one. It might be the first one.
But so the Bengals, their very first playoff game was at home, and they beat whoever they played.
Okay.
And then all the rest of their games have been away,
Okay.
and they've always been the underdog. And
In the
right
playoffs.
Now, in the playoffs,
In the
yes.
playoffs,
And right
okay.
now, Bengals are away
Uh-huh.
on the road, and LA
Is at home.
is at home, and Bengals are the underdog.
Okay. Who's the
And
favorite right now? Do you know?
LA.
LA is. Do you know what the spread is?
No.
Not that that matters for any gambling purposes. No?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I just
Okay.
know that the Bengals are the underdog.
All right. So maybe a slight edge for home, but not much.
Yeah.
Okay. So we obviously have your score up here already. So
Yeah.
so you think that the final score is what?
34-26 Bengals.
34-26 Bengals. So you're calling the Bengals are the winner.
Yes.
Okay, by 8 points or thereabouts, a touchdown
Yep.
plus a little bit more. Who do you think is going to be the MVP?
So the Bengals are gonna win, and if LA wins, then it's gonna be Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
But if the Bengals win, when the Bengals win,
When the Bengals win?
yeah, it's gonna be either Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow. It'll be very close.
Okay, so
'Cause-
you think Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow would be the...
because they're both really big on passing,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know how you base the MVP off of, because if it's a quarterback and a wide receiver, the quarterback most likely would get the MVP. Because if the wide receiver does crazy good, Joe Burrow also does crazy good.
Well, it's more like the impact to the game is really what it is. So, like if
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, like Joe Burrow, if he threw 3 touchdowns, but Jamar Chase
Okay, so
caught all 3,
yeah.
you know, they might, especially if they were like spectacular catches or he
Yeah.
ran for a lot or something like that. Okay, so now we're going to get into a little more specifics here. Okay, so for anybody that wants to take note of this, let me see your little marker for a second. All right, so we're going to call coin toss. All right. Who's going to win the coin toss, LA or the Bengals?
Bengals.
You think the Bengals are going to win the coin toss?
LA is going to choose heads, and the Bengals are going to win the coin toss.
The what?
LA is going to choose heads.
You think they're
and the
going to pick
Bengals-
heads?
Yes.
Okay. And you think the Bengals are going to get tails? Tails never fails? All right. Okay, so who's going to score the first touchdown?
Bengals. They get the ball first.
So you think the Bengals are going to drive down and score the first touchdown too?
Yes.
By who?
Jamar Chase.
So Jamar Chase is going to score the first touchdown in the Super Bowl against LA. All right, so there you got it, folks. We got 34-26 Bengals over the Rams. The coin toss, the Bengals are going to win because LA is going to call heads, and actually LA probably doesn't get to call heads because they're the home team. Usually the visitor gets the
I
call.
forgot about that.
Yeah, me too, until I just said it. And then the first touchdown is going to be scored by Jamar Chase, probably a pass from Joe Burrow.
Okay, let's change this that they're going to choose tails.
Okay, they're going to choose
They're
tails.
gonna win.
All right, so there we got it. So 34-26. Again, this is not to be used for gambling purposes. This is just for fun. We will not take any of this information and use it online to place bets. So otherwise, we're just having a good time. So thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes, guys. And please put your prediction down below who you think is going to win. We'll see you soon.